Michelle Graves, your host on The Power of Money, and I'm honored to have you as a part of my world in this coming segment. With The Power of Money, as you know, we are interested in three things. First, that you get the necessary education so that you and your family will have the information to do well in these difficult times. The second thing I'm interested in is for you to be empowered to prosper. I want only the best for you, but you can't get that if you don't have the education and then the drive to make it happen. And the final thing, and perhaps the most important thing, is that you be energized. Because life is more than a journey. Life is about living. And so I want you to learn these things and to be empowered and encouraged and energized. I'm Michelle Graves. Now here we go. For the last 40 years as the money lady, and of course this show, The Power of Money.
We're going to do it for real here in just a second.
Okay, thank you. We're still testing. Okay. I'm Michelle Graves, your host on The Power of Money, and I'm honored to have you as a part of my world in this coming segment. With The Power of Money, as you know, we are interested in three things. First, that you get the necessary education so that you and your family will have the information to do well in these difficult times. The second thing I'm interested in is for you to be empowered to prosper. I want only the best for you, but you can't get that if you don't have the education and then the drive to make it happen. And the final thing, and perhaps the most important thing, is that you be energized. Because life is more than a journey. Life is about living. And so I want you to learn these things and to be empowered and encouraged and energized. I'm Michelle Graves. Now here we go.
I was seeing you earlier, but I can't see you anymore.
And here we go. And welcome to today's segment of The Power of Money with your host, Michelle Graves, affectionately known for the last 40 years. Can you believe that? Of advising and helping people to overcome financial obstacles, in providing information, interviews, and people that can take you to a place of stability in your financial lives. And a critical component of financial well-being is your health, because with poor health, nothing else happens. So as an advisor, a financial advisor, working specifically at this point in my life with seniors, people over 50, that's right, according to AARP. And so in line with my goal to empower you so that you can live a vibrant, exciting, and prosperous life in your older years, I have invited on as my guest for the next hour a woman, a doctor, who specializes in, again, internal medicine and working with seniors. One of her particular areas of expertise is nutrition in terms of credentialing and understanding diabetes. And I bring this word up because so many people today are terrified of diabetes, getting it, maintaining it. What is it? How do I get through it? And so because of my commitment to break all of the ignorance surrounding any subject related to aging and retirement and health, I invited her on. And she was on my radio show not too long ago, and the response was astounding. And so I said, I want her on television so that people can pass the information along, can help their loved ones begin to redirect their energy, because I learned a lot that I did not know, and it has helped me tremendously. So without further ado, I have Dr. Anisha Singh, who is a medical doctor specializing in internal medicine with specific training in nutrition and diabetes. And she's going to share with me information and share with you information that could potentially change your life. Good morning, Dr. Singh.
Good morning, Michelle, and thank you for inviting me to your show.
I am pleased to have you on the show and look forward to just all the information you want to give us so that we can begin to make changes in our lives. So where do we want to begin this morning? Give us a little bit of background, how you got involved and interested in diabetes, and what is it?
Yeah, good question. So as a physician, I have my traditional training from medicine. I've been to medical school, then into medicine residence, health training, and then I've been practicing medicine. And I found that as I was practicing, that there were a lot of unanswered questions. The number of diabetics around the world has increased tremendously. We know that it is a disease which, with time, has gone up. So we do know it's modern day disease. Why is that? And why is it so considered one of those irreversible? So that led me to further questions. And that is when I did my holistic nutrition and further into Ayurveda. So the bottom line that I find that all the diseases, whether it is hypertension, high cholesterol, or diabetes, are modern day diseases. That means they are lifestyle, which is a big change from what we have been made to. At some point, there was this whole trend where we were made to believe once it comes on, it's all your genes. You are doomed to have it. If your mom has it, if your dad has it, family members, you're going to have it. And now we're finding more and more about the genetics. We're finding out about how lifestyle, how we can ourselves play a role in managing and controlling, prevent. And if we do get, how do we even reverse? And so that's the message that's the lesson that I learned. And that is the lesson we need to spread more and more to the world around us so that we charge of our health, not just about a weight. Because sometimes people stuck their weight. They think if they are skinny, they're okay. If they are eating junk food, but youngsters especially, when they feel they can eat whatever they want to, they can drink as much tea or coffee too. It'll never catch up with them because if they can starve themselves and maintain more, that they will be okay. But actually, it'll catch. So this is a teaching we need to teach from youngsters on, that these are lifestyle diseases. And so we can make much healthier choices, much wiser in our day-to-day living, in not just nutrition, but how we are, how we are in terms of how we sleep, how we wake up, what time we eat, what kind of movements we do. All of that can play a role in what we're going to see 10, 15 years down the road in terms of thyroid disease or blood pressure or cholesterol or diabetes.
That is amazing when you term it as a lifestyle disease, because I know in talking with other doctors, the thing that comes to mind consistently, because I am of African descent and African American, is that it's genetic. It runs in families. It's predominant with African Americans because it's genetic. And your hypothesis that it is a modern disease based on lifestyle is truly revolutionary. Are very many doctors educated on this?
So it is more and more. Now when we look at functional medicine, which is really being practiced by MDs, it is truly considered a lifestyle disease. Now, if doctors have not gotten further education on it and have stuck with just the traditional teaching, then they may not be aware of it. But today, most of the MDs are doing, there are a lot of MDs, not most, but a lot of MDs are going into integrative medicine, into functional medicine, and they are realizing the role, the environment, the food, the movement, the lifestyle has to play with these diseases, and how our choices has an effect on our genes. So it is becoming more and more prevalent. It needs to become more and more integrated into medical schools. But is it totally there? Not yet. But it is definitely, whether, you can see some of the changes even on television. You can see some of the dialogues changing across the country. But now we are realizing, hey, we need to address this issue much earlier. We can't wait for the hemoglobin A1C which is the number that the doctors are looking for, to be a certain range, and then suddenly declare somebody a diabetic.
Right.
There is a whole process that's happening much before.
Well, the much before, would you say that given the American diet, which is full of all kinds of unmentionables, and it begins with children, even small children, eating fast food, drinking lots of soda, would you say that the course, the trajectory that they are on would have an outcome that could include diabetes as an adult?
Absolutely true. Yes, you are absolutely right there. That you can look at a child and look at their, sleeping pattern. If they're up all night, sleeping late in the morning, they're eating all kind of fruit juices, pop. They're eating pretty much processed food most of the time, pizza, cake, pastries, any number of junk. And you can see the trajectory where it's going to go, and that this child needs to either change where they're going, or they will in due time, whether they are overweight or not, they will move in the direction of metabolic syndrome, right? So this is a metabolic disease. So you're playing with your metabolism. This whole universe is running on certain rhythm, right? And when we are playing with that rhythm, we are playing with our own metabolism. And as we play with it, how long are we going to play with it before we're going to see the effects? One of the interesting things we had when I did my fellowship in Cleveland Clinic, the cardiologists there were doing a research where they were following the arteries of few people right from childhood, from the age of 10 and to 50, 60. So they were showing us the same person started having deposits, plaques in their arteries right from the age of 10. So now this person at the age of 50 and 60 is manifesting, whether it's heart disease or high cholesterol. But what they were trying to get at is, like, at what age does it really start making a difference? And it was interesting to see that there were plaques already by the age of 10. And so I do tell my own children too, that if you're going to, don't think, you're not going to have an effect if you're not, if the plaques are forming. You have a choice to make changes early on to get these plaques off, or you can keep depositing it. And soon you're going to be on that trajectory where you'll be like, oh, I was okay. What happened? Suddenly I was okay one day, next day I had high cholesterol, and third day I had diabetes or thyroid. It didn't happen like that. It has started very gradually inside.
That is absolutely mind-blowing. It is, because what it says is that we're looking at an impending crisis, and it's more than just the issue of climate change. If you're not here, or you're missing body parts because of diabetes, or dead because of stroke, because of lifestyle and a Western way of life, that's not a good outcome. So, can you talk to me more, as you did on the show, the radio show, about the necessity of sequencing for rest and eating, that the whole system is based upon patterns, eating and sleeping and all of that? Can you go into more detail on that?
Yeah. We talked about circadian rhythm. So circadian rhythm is very important aspect of nature. The universe runs really on circadian rhythm. So if you look at the birds, they wake up early morning, the chirping starts even before you can see the sunlight. And then they know what time it's the rest time and time to go to sleep. Every creature in the universe has to follow the circadian rhythm. When the sun comes up, when the sunrise happens, and when the sun sets. Sun, in a way, represents a metabolism. So when the sun is bright and shiny, that's when your metabolism is really at its peak. And when it's time for sunset, that's when your metabolism is starting to slow down. So just like every other species in this world, whether it's a lion or whether it's a bird or whether it's a human, just because we are intellectual beings, humans are, and we have developed technology, we really cannot escape the circadian rhythm. We try to beat it. We have invented electricity, right? So now nighttime, we have electric bulbs. So it doesn't feel like night. We have television on late at night. So the brain is still functioning when it is time to sleep. So we tend to think we can defy the circadian rhythm. And that has been one of the reasons why the modern days diseases have come around. So the way it works with circadian rhythm is they follow the nature cycle. So if a human being, the first thing, so whether, among everything that's important, following that rhythm, the sleep-wake cycle, is the number one thing you need to follow for good health. If you're not going to do that, then all the other pieces are not going to fall into place. And this is one thing that we in modern day, we tend to ignore. Sleep is considered not so important. People don't sleep on time. People don't wake up on time. They sleep at odd hours, or they think sleep is a waste of time. But actually, the whole circadian rhythm is designed in such a way that you wake up at certain hour. And when you wake up, say anywhere, in the morning, whether it's 5 o'clock or 4:30, say 5:30, 6 o'clock, depending on your wake up time, that is the time when your body starts waking up. It's not yet at its peak of metabolism, but it has started to wake up. And that is when you're supposed to have, after you do your, so when we talk about lifestyle, that's the number one thing is what time do you wake up? If a person is waking up at 10 a.m. in the morning, well, and then they're complaining about either weight gain or diabetes or thyroid issues, I know that the first correction I need to do is in the sleep cycle. If they're going to continue to wake up that late, they're going to have a messed up metabolism. So once the metabolism and why is that important? The body has been designed in such a way that when we're sleeping, that's when a lot of our healing is happening. So so let's start with when we go to sleep. So when we go to sleep, that's when all your growth hormones in the pituitary is going to be secreted, your ACTH, the other hormones that are going to be secreted, and the liver detoxification will begin. So between 10 p.m. and your 5 p.m., whatever be your sleep time, so about that time is a good time to be sleeping because it's nighttime, the sun has set, your metabolism is at the lowest. You need to put yourself to sleep, and right away your body will go into this healing process. It does not go into the same healing process if you sleep for 5 hours in the daytime. It doesn't work that way. So the circadian rhythm was designed where at nighttime when you sleep, all the growth. Now, why is growth hormone important? Because growth hormone causes your metabolism to be high. So if a person has low growth hormone, their metabolism is going to be low. So then they're going to complain about, I gain weight on air, I eat so little, I still gain weight. Well, we know that they're hormonal, they've got some hormonal imbalances going on. They're not sleeping well. So, and the other aspect is liver detoxification. Now, all day long, we have been, eating, we have been exposing ourselves to environmental toxins, oxidants. And so at nighttime is the time for the GI system, your stomach, to get rest, for all the blood supply. Your gastrointestinal system is the biggest system which gets the most amount of blood supply all day long. But at night, that system gets rest. Your blood supply is instead redirected to your brain, and that's where all the healing happens. And then your liver does all the liver detoxification, all the junk that your toxins that you have been all day long consuming, that all gets cleared up. So it's a great time. So our rest, sleep is not just about sleep and dream, and it is about healing. So the body heals, the metabolism will rise. Now when you wake up, that is the time from between 6 and 10 a.m. is the time when your metabolism starts kicking up. The sunrise is happening, that's when the metabolism. So that's when you have what we call the breakfast. Break the fast. That's not the time to have the biggest meal of the day. It is the time to break your fast. So whether you have, whatever be the meal you're having, make sure it is that you're not, first of all, skipping. So a lot of people will skip breakfast. So do not skip breakfast, because it is the time to give your body some, whether it is a bowl of fruits, whether it is what you had, Michelle, today, green beans, or any number of, whether somebody has oatmeal, whatever be their way of breaking a fast, break the fast. And then between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. is when your metabolic fire, digestive fire is the highest. This is when you have the biggest meal of the day, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And now you can eat, your carbs at that time, your protein, your fats, your greens. Again, I'm not talking about, protein, fats in terms of processed food. I'm talking in terms of whole foods. So whether it's your green leafy vegetables, your lentils, legumes, your meat, your chicken, whatever fish you're having, all of that, the 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is your metabolism is really good. So that's the time. Do not skip your lunch time. And this is a big problem, right? In today, modern times, people are working through the day. Even doctors I see working from all day long, and it's all on the go. They're just not sitting down for a good meal. And what does that lead to? Between at nighttime, when you're now the 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., your metabolism is slowed down. It's time for dinner, but a smaller dinner. So if one were to say lunch should be like a king, and the breakfast should be like a queen, and the dinner should be like a pauper. So it's like a small dinner, and now you're having a lighter dinner, and then soon you need 2 to 3 hours time between your dinner time and your bedtime for the food to have left your stomach. Your stomach, your food when you eat goes into your stomach. It stays in the stomach for 2 to 3 hours, depending on, how your GI system is. So once it leaves there, that's when it's time to sleep. But most people will then have a post-dinner snack, and now they're again playing with their metabolism. So this is the circadian rhythm, and between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. they're done. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. is the time to actually not be eating and resting, allowing digestion to occur. And 10 p.m., when the food has left the stomach, is the time to go to sleep. So then having a good night's sleep at that time. So this is called the circadian rhythm. And when human beings are in general playing, we are the only species probably that plays with this circadian rhythm the most, because we are skipping the lunch and then we're having a heavy dinner at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, because we have been starving our body. And how many years will you do that before you'll see some effect of it? sooner than later. 5 years, 10 years, 15, depends on the, how what age you're starting this at. You will see the effect of it. And that's why this is called, all these diseases are called lifestyle diseases.
Lifestyle diseases. Listeners and viewers, did you just hear what she said? That is profound. For me, it changed my way. And I thought I eat right, I exercise, I do, but this information shifted my thinking. So I am now very specific about what times I eat, what times I don't eat, and then making sure I get enough sleep at night. Uninterrupted sleep in a dark room. I don't have any music, any sounds, anything. I go to sleep because I'm critically aware that my brain has to work. It's got a house clean, and my liver has to clean. And Dr. Singh, when I look at all this lack of information about something as basic as, why don't you do what all the animals and bugs do? What's
exactly.
What's wrong with this story here? So we know we have the circadian system that predates us and will post-date us based on what's going on with climate. Bugs are still going to go to bed. Birds are still going to go to sleep. And we're going to be gone. But anyway, that is a lifestyle thing. So what else can you share with us?
Yeah, this is, when I tell, whether it's family, whether it's my patients, about why is it that the animals don't have, if you look around, is this diabetes or blood pressure a problem in lions or cows or a buffalo or a pig or a bird? No, it can be a problem in a pet animals, but not a problem in the nature, because every being has a certain size. Elephant is a certain size, but they don't have a diabetes because of that size. That is their size. A deer is a certain size, and then they kind of follow the rhythm and they stay about that. So we human beings can learn a lot from, and to learn, you don't have to go, just go back to what your grandmothers did. Go back to what your culture is. So whether you came from European culture, whether you came from African culture, Indian culture, Middle Eastern culture, you will find that, just go back 2-3 generations, you will find wisdom right there. So one of the things that youngsters have found is they think they're smarter because they can operate the phone better and the computer better. But in terms of lifestyle diseases, you will find, going back 2 or 3 generations, your grandmother, your great-grandmother did not have the same health issues, or they may have had certain knowledge about these things where they knew, this is a sleep time, or this is a wake-up time, this is the eating time. So in terms of nutrition, holistic nutrition, when I did that, there is no set way of what is right eating and wrong eating. There are, you can eat your traditional foods. You can go back to, it's not like, hey, everybody has to have a bland diet, or a certain smoothie every day, or, none of this. This is all we have tried to even make it more modernized, right? So we have said, okay, we are busy, we don't want to have time to chew the vegetables, so we turn it into a smoothie, which is also a modern thing that we have been doing. But if you go back, really, we do need our teeth to chew the food. We need to make our gums work. We need to make our jaw work. So actually, eating that fruit or eating that vegetable is definitely way more in alignment with how we're meant to live. than any of these modern concoctions that we are doing. So one of the things I tell everyone is just, don't have to change it. Don't, if you come from a certain background, don't have to change your diet to mimic somebody else who looks healthier. Just go back to what your roots are, and then look at where was the wisdom there, and pick up from there, and then go from there. And you will find that that's all you need. One of the other pieces that is so important in metabolism is spices. Every culture has had spices. These spices, whether it's turmeric or whether it's paprika, whether it's cumin, whether it's whatever spices that any culture has, those spices have a role in metabolism. They have a role in anti-inflammation. So do not discard these spices. Sometimes the problem is more that people are having too much of a bland diet. And so we want to incorporate just the healthy spices that, again, that you are used to, that you may have been, raised with, and use them. So like for me, coming from Indian culture, I really did not understand the value of spices till I did holistic nutrition. And the turmeric or the ginger or the garlic or the cumin or the coriander have a very significant role in metabolism. And adding them to the diet revs up my metabolism. So for me to start thinking, oh, I'm just going to, blend or eat stuff without actually any spices is because, and that's the same as eating that is not the same. So always include, I would say, spices in your diet that you're used to, that have been part of your culture. One of the things with holistic nutrition we find is that the body responds best because genes have a memory. So it has a way of responding to, just like, what we talk about women, there is all this memory, right, of all, whether it's a patriarchal society, whether it's abuse, it's ingrained, it's memory for hundreds of years. Same way, your food and your body has a memory of all the diet that came before you. So you would respond so well if you stayed and went back to what your great-grandmothers were eating or grandmothers are eating. That's one of the big lessons that I learned when I did holistic nutrition is don't discard your culture, embrace your culture.
Dr. Singh, I just got a note from the producer. We've only got 5 minutes left, and I need you in the 5 minutes that we have to tell people quickly about sugar and high fructose, and give a phone number so that they can reach out to you, or an email, however you want to be communicated, because this is a conversation that is not finished. I mean, there's a long list of stuff I want to talk to you about, and I know you're busy. So let's kind of zoom through this sugar thing and give the phone number first. Do that first.
Yes. So the phone number to reach me is 513-619-7766. So I am Dr. Anisha Singh. I am currently working with Dedicated Senior Medical Center. So we are really dedicated to taking care of seniors in the community. We have 3 locations in Roselawn and Glen Crossing and Coleraine. So if you can call 513-619-7766, I would love to, take care of you, educate you, make changes based on how motivated you are and where you are in your life. Now, when it comes to sugar, like I said, even in the radio show, the sugar addiction potential of sugar is the same as cocaine. So yes, so that is something that people, it is not something to sneeze on. So here, when we tell people, hey, get off sugar, well, how hard it is to get off cocaine. So I think we need to be more mindful when we tell people to get off sugar. But it is something absolutely to understand, even in our head, that this addiction is as potent. The second is its ability to develop tolerance. So we do develop tolerance to sugar. So that means if you were using 1 teaspoon in your tea, now you need 1.5 teaspoon, your taste buds, there is a tolerance that develops. So just like drugs, we have a tolerance to sugar. And the third aspect of sugar is the withdrawal. So just like cocaine or any drug, there is a withdrawal to sugar. So we need to be as I never tell patients actually to get off sugar like that, because I know all these three aspects. So just like you would not, you can keep telling a patient to get off cigarettes, but there is a we have to be very sensitive. Same way with sugar, for you to understand that it is not, you can't just play with it. You can't just say, oh yeah, I can get rid of sugar. Well, and then you do think about it during the daytime. Come nighttime, you again go for the sugar. Well, it has addictive potential. It has, tolerance and withdrawal. And high fructose corn syrup, nothing worse than that. It is a directly related. Any product, please, look for high fructose corn syrup. Do not eat anything with high fructose corn syrup. It has high ability to cause heart disease and diabetes. It deposits in your belly, in the blood vessels in the belly. It deposits so it is the worst kind of carb that you can have. So whether it's a bread and different products, you will find high fructose corn syrup. So look in the ingredients. And we need to, of course, definitely talk about that a lot more, Michelle, on another show.
No, we are going to, Dr. Singh, I want to thank you for giving of your time and your expertise on this very, very vital subject today. And I am going to already pull on you to find out when you can come on to finish this conversation, as if it's going to finish. But I wanted to thank you from the depths of my heart for giving up your time and for educating my viewers. This is just the beginning of a long journey. Thank you so much. And to all of you that are my viewers on The Power of Money, please visit YouTube, The Power of Money, Michelle Graves, Dr. Anisha Singh, and watch this. Pass this on to your friends. Tell people this is major. This is serious. This can be dealt with. And I'm a solution-oriented person. So I thank all of you for being a part of my world today and for participating in the interview. And as always, God bless you richly. Take care of yourself and your families, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.